In news from the region, CARICOM trade and economic ministers to meet later this month. And news from the international scene, top Iranian official vows support for Lebanon on Israeli Hezbollah war. The details of the evening news right after this.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS Radio on the go. www.dbcradio.net. Click the play button at the top and you're good to go with the nation station, DBS Radio.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Evening News. A Wesley man has been released on bail of $75,000 after he was charged with unlawfully inciting to kill persons in Dominica. Coughlin Clint Roll is alleged to have made his statements on an internet Facebook podcast, namely Wesley News Online, hosted by Randy Francis Prosper, by uttering in person to the public the following. Let me tell you honestly right now, and so I believe we need a militant leader. I also believe I don't mind I compromise myself. I go in and say it. He said, I believe we have to look at the possibility of killing them. That's the way they're going to come out there to kill them, you understand. His statement also said, yes, we're living in a phony Dominica, and the only way to get those politicians to understand the plight of the people, we now have to resort to violence. It's violence that will take them out. Yes, they can say I'm inciting. That is what that need to happen. That is the only way. All the electoral reform and them things there is not going to work. And the only way those people going to come out there is by the gun. Mr. Roll has been asked to submit his travel documents to the court, and he is to report to the police station twice a week. He has been asked not to reoffend while on bail. He is to return to court on the 10th of January 2025 in Wesley. The accused is represented by David Bruni and Ronald Charles. Other news this evening: the first ever media literacy symposium for police officers in Dominica is set to get underway tomorrow. The event is being organized by Junior Chambers International, JCI West Indies, in partnership with UNESCO's Global Media and Information Literacy Campaign. National President of JCI West Indies, Marita Hyacinth, says the event is designed to enhance media literacy skills among police officers.
JCI West Indies announces the launch of our Media and Information Literacy Training Series, which is a critical initiative aimed at equipping our law enforcement officers with essential skills to navigate today's complex media environment. The symposium marks the first of several sessions that we plan to do across the region in celebration of the UNESCO's Global Media and Information Literacy Week. Through these sessions, our officers will gain vital competencies in effective social media use, crisis communication, and managing misinformation.
And that's the National President of JCI West Indies, Marita Hyacinth. Hyacinth says the initiative also underscores JCI's commitment to building an informed community and fostering responsible media use within law enforcement.
As you know, JCI West Indies is part of the Global Junior Chamber International Network, and this is a non-profit organization dedicated to leadership development and creating positive change. We believe in the power of young leaders to make an impact, and this project really aligns perfectly with our mission to foster responsible citizenship and build stronger communities. So basically, by partnering with our law enforcement community, we are ensuring that the future of the West Indies of Dominica is informed, connected, and resilient. And we are indeed excited to see the outcomes of this collaboration and look forward to continue our work within our region. And to continue to empower our region.
And that's the national president of JCI West Indies, Marita Hyacinth. Dominica's Financial Services Unit, FSU, has won the prestigious Wealth and Finance International Award as the Financial Services Regulatory Authority of the Year 2024 in the Caribbean. A press statement by the Ministry of Finance stated that the award highlights the FSU's dedication to regulatory excellence and its commitment to strengthening Dominica's financial services sector and promoting integrity and compliance with international standards. The Wealth and Finance International Award recognizes institutions demonstrating outstanding performance in financial regulation, as well as skill, innovation, and success in delivering trusted and reliable financial services to clients. The statement added that Dominica's FSU was chosen for its robust regulatory frameworks, ongoing monitoring, and effective enforcement policies which enhance the credibility of Dominica's financial services sector both regionally and globally. The FSU oversees a range of institutions, including credit unions, insurance companies, offshore banks, forex businesses, and other financial entities and service providers. Director of the FSU, Claudius Lestrade, said the award recognizes the FSU's success in enhancing transparency, combating financial crimes, and implementing policies that promote a stable financial environment. Mr. Lestrade added the unit strives to foster an internationally competitive financial services industry and aims to enhance Dominica's financial services sector while protecting consumer interests. Mr. Lestrade further stated that this recognition highlights the team's commitment and the government's support in maintaining a resilient and transparent financial sector. Other news this evening, Minister responsible for national security Rayburn Blackmore has called on Dominicans to recognize their individual roles to mitigate against natural disasters. His remarks came at the official opening ceremony of the Office of Disaster Management Public Speaking Competition on Disaster Risk Management for secondary schools today. Mr. Blackmore commended the Office of Disaster Management for taking up initiatives aimed at empowering students.
That is why it is so important to get involved within the ODM perspective, to go out to the various communities, targeting the schools, and ensuring that people are educated on the manner in which they should respond to public hazards, and your responsibility to clean your drains, to cut your overhangs, and to stop dumping white goods in natural water courses. And people take the fridges and just throw it in a ravine. And, and some people hot stuff. The homes are filled with white goods. And the yards, you can hardly walk in the yard. All these things are potential hazard. In the event you have a serious wind, you have rain. Because having a hurricane is one thing, but there are secondary issues that we must be concerned about. Most of the devastation that is caused after a hurricane as a result of flooding. Water is very dangerous. So that's why it's so important that we clean our drains, we cut overhangs, and we ensure that we do what we're supposed to do as individuals.
A Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Meantime, a student of the Wesley High School, Sahisha Jermaine, has won the first ever Office of Disaster Management Public Speaking Competition on disaster risk management for secondary schools. Davidson Beaupierre from the Castlebrooke Secondary School came in first place, and Amazing Berridge from the Orion Academy was in second place. On the feature segment of the DBS Evening News, taxi operator Jonathan Vidal has served the tourism industry for well over 35 years. He lived in Canada for some time, but returned to Dominica and has been a taxi operator since. Jonathan Vidal of Salisbury is our feature on the DBS Evening News.
What brought me into that was I had a small bus, and one day Daniel DJ had tours and he couldn't get a bus, so he asked me to come in, and I took it from there.
Before you went into tourism, what were you doing?
I went into agriculture when I came back from Canada, and from there I got a dump truck and a small bus, and that's how it went on from there.
Before leaving Dominica for Canada, what were you doing at the time?
I worked with Bruce Robinson, Sylvania Farms Chicken, and then agriculture in Salisbury before I left.
What has kept you in tourism all these years, 35 odd years?
I like the business. You meet different people. It's not a routine. Every day can be different, and I enjoy that. I've been everything in tourism, right? Just meeting the people, working with the drivers. The whole experience has been good for me. I think the important thing is to have your vehicle in good shape. Be ready to meet people who are different from you and learn how to cope with them. And even your own taxi members, you have to learn to live with the different moods, etc.
You have seen a lot over 35 years you've been serving, you've seen a lot. How do you compare the early days in your career to what we see now in Dominica?
The early days were kind of, they were good. They were kind of chaotic to a certain extent because most of these sites were not really, quote unquote, up to date. We've improved our sites totally, although we have not made enough effort or have not opened up more sites, right? The sites we have basically have been used over and over again. But apart from that, the volume has increased. We've got a lot more buses. The prices have not really kept up because what we worked for years ago, we work for more money than we're doing now.
Your final message to the taxi operators, to anyone listening to you, government of Dominica, anyone listening to you, what would be your final words in this interview?
My final words would be basically come into this thing with an open mind. There's no guarantee that you will work. You have to be prepared to be disappointed. And most importantly, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. If there's something that you don't know or somewhere you're falling short, talk to somebody and straighten yourself out.
And that's the taxi operator Jonathan Vidal from Salisbury, over 35 years as a taxi operator in the tourism sector. The news continues right after this.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS Radio on the go. www.dbcradio.net. Click the play button at the top and you're good to go with the nation station, DBS Radio.
DBS News.
In news from the region this evening, the Guyana-based CARICOM Secretariat has announced that CARICOM Trade and Economic Development Ministers will meet later this month. It said that the November 27 to the 28th ministerial meeting will be chaired by Antigua and Barbuda's Trade Minister Everly Paul Chet Green, and that senior trade officials from the region have advanced preparation for the 59th ministerial meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development quoted during a two-day virtual meeting last week. The Secretariat added that among the external trade relations matters on the agenda of the ministerial meeting are key multilateral developments emanating from the 13th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference and CARICOM Colombia concluding negotiations for additional preferential market access. Finally, this evening, a top Iranian official pledged his country's unwavering support for Lebanon after talks today with Lebanese leaders on the ongoing war between Israel and Hezbollah, which came as the U.S. continued actively pushing both sides to agree to a new ceasefire deal. An advisor to Iran's supreme leader said he hoped circumstances would soon improve in Lebanon so that displaced people could return home. The U.S. has been trying to broker an end to the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah, which came as the 13th-month war with Hamas broadened in September into southern and eastern Lebanon, as well as Beirut's southern suburbs. It is 15 minutes now after 6 o'clock. That's a look at the DBS Evening News. Don't go away. The sports report comes up shortly.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Let's begin the DBS Evening Sports Report with cricket news. The left-arm seamer Obed McCoy has been added to the West Indies squad as a replacement for the medium-fast bowler Matthew Ford for the remainder of the 5-match T20 series against England in St. Lucia. Ford, named player of the series in the one-day international leg of the tour, where the West Indies secured a series win, sustained a left thigh injury during training on Wednesday, 13th November at the Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium. The 22-year-old Ford will continue to be monitored by the medical team as he works towards a full recovery. The fourth T20 international between the West Indies and England will take place tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Some more cricket news. England took an unbeatable 3-0 lead in their T20 series with the West Indies after they took the third T20 by 3 wickets last night. The West Indies batting first limped their way to 145 for 8. Rovman Powell made 54, Romario Shepherd 30, and Alzari Joseph 21 not out. Jamie Overton took 3 for 20 and Saqib Mahmood 3 for 17. England got 149 for 7 in 19.2 overs. Sam Curran made 41, Liam Livingstone 39, and Will Jacks 32. Akil Hossain captured 4 for 22 for the West Indies. The West Indies captain Rovman Powell said it was another disappointing result.
I think it's a bit disappointing. We keep losing wickets in the power play. We keep losing wickets in clusters as a batting group. It's something we highlighted, but it just didn't come off tonight.
What were the discussions around the approach specifically coming into today's game?
I think it's a case of us being our natural self. We know we are stroke players. We know we're going to come out aggressive. But that little element of being smart is missing. But having said that, I think Saturday provides an opportunity for us to slowly turn it around.
And how do you find the balance between trying to keep wickets in hand and also trying to go too hard at the beginning of the innings?
I think it's a case of if you lose wickets in clusters, you lose wickets in the power play, then the middle overs just become a rotating factor. You can't go as hard as you would want in the middle overs and the back end. Fortunately for us today, myself and Sheppy, we found a little partnership and put us to a score where we think we could have defended.
What importance do you place on your fielding? This is now the second series where catches have costed you guys.
Yeah, it's something that we have to look on from a personal standpoint. Whether guys have to take more catches or guys just not getting in the drop zone as early as possible. I think fielding is a collective effort. So once we keep as individuals keep getting better, then the team will eventually get better.
And that's the West Indies captain, Rovman Powell. We are staying with cricket news because India picked up a 135-run win over South Africa in the fourth T20 International today. India, they've now captured the 5-match series 3-1 with 1 game remaining. Having won the toss, India elected to bat first. They posted 283 for 1. That's India, 283 for 1. Varma made 120 not out and Sanju Samson 109 not out. Their 210-run partnership marks the highest for India in any wicket in T20 internationals and is also the highest for the second wicket in T20 internationals. South Africa, in reply, got off to a rocky start, losing 4 wickets for 10 runs. They were then bowled out for 148. Tristan Stubbs top scored with 43 and David Miller made 36. Ashdeep Singh, he took 3 for 20 And of course, India winning the match by 135 runs. Some football news now. The assistant coach of the men's national football team, Delroy Watt, believes that Dominica can get some revenge against the Dominican Republic. The two teams will square off in the return leg of the CONCACAF Nations League tomorrow in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic had beaten Dominica 2-0 in Antigua in September. The national team held its first training in the Dominican Republic Thursday afternoon.
All right, the training has been going well. The players are enthusiastic about the game. And as you would know, in the last encounter, we went down to Dominican Republic, unfortunately, to 2-0. But we're hoping to bounce back and give a much better performance in our next match on Saturday.
All right, this is a crucial game against the Dominican Republic and also Antigua. Our future in League B could be determined as a result of these two games. You said that we lost to the Dominican Republic 2-0. What sort of lessons did we take from that first encounter?
All right, I will say we were a bit complacent because we just beat Antigua. We had just beaten Antigua after a number of years. So I think the guys were a bit complacent. We could have been more compact and, of course, taking them a bit more serious.
All right, so we're looking forward to the Dominican Republic on Saturday. What would you say would be the keys to victory for our Dominica team?
All right, we just need to stick to the game plan, execute the things that we know we can do well, what the coaching staff has asked the players to do, take our chances. That will be critical because we get a number of chances, Gavin, and sometimes we're not clinical in front goal, and that usually costs us the match.
All right, we have some reinforcements coming in, some guys who were not present for the game against Bermuda. And we have some new faces as well. Jamal Prosper, one of them. Julian Wade also coming back. Fitzgerald as well. You know, how confident are you guys now with the added reinforcements heading into Saturday's game?
All right, so these players are no stranger to the national setup, to Dominican national senior men's team. And we know what they bring to the table. And we expect a lot of them. We know their work rate. We know their skills in all four moments of the game. And we expect good things from them, for sure.
All right, Coach, just give me an idea as to the confidence level in the camp. You know, how are the guys feeling, you know, because like we said, it's a big game. Mentally, of course, it must be taking a toll on them. So what are some of the things the coaching staff has been doing to sort of prepare them mentally for the game?
All right, so we've been giving them the tactical information they need to come up against the Dominican Republic. Of course, we would have played them already, so we know what is expected of them. We know their style of play, their strong areas, their weak areas, and we just want to exploit on their weak areas and hopefully come out victorious, Gavin.
Assistant coach of the men's national football team, Delroy Watt. Well, Dominica plays the Dominican Republic at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Meantime, the national footballer Chad Bertrand has announced his retirement from international football. The 37-year-old Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin FC midfielder is hanging up his boots on a career that has spanned 14 years playing for his country.
I mean, how would you reflect on things?
Yes, I think that the time has arrived, and I think that it's the best choice for me at the moment. I think that I've given my all. I've been here since 2010, so I think that I played my part in the football arena, and I think that now is just the right time for me to call it a day.
All right, Chad, let's talk about, you know, how difficult this moment must be for you to walk away from the game, especially a game that you love so much.
Yes, I mean, I love it a lot, but at the end of the day, you have to balance your personal life and sport. So I think that giving 14 years of service to my country, I think that's more than enough. And I just think that now is the right time.
Chad, as you step away from football at the international scene, you know, this sort of puts the team in a predicament. But the future seems to look bright. I mean, there are a lot of youngsters coming up. You look like guys like Malachi Bonney, Kian Thomas, you know, Fabio Drago, a lot of guys who are knocking on the door. So what would be your message to them?
Yes. First things first, I would like to say to them, discipline is key. And discipline is not only about like how you speak to people or the respect you have for people, but training. training is key in football, because once you are fit and you are able to play already, I think that's the biggest part of it. But you have to be disciplined when it comes to training, because fitness is key in our sport. And that was one of my strengths, my fitness, because I did a lot of personal work, like running up hills, running on the road, going up Mont Espanyol and all those things. So I think that helped me a lot. So I just want to encourage them to just take up that responsibility to be disciplined in their fitness and in their training.
National footballer Chad Bertrand. And Alec Athene says while he will miss the Windward Island Volcanoes next game in the Super 50 Overs tournament, the team has grown in confidence following their win over the combined campuses and colleges in Trinidad on Wednesday night. Volcanoes won by 98 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method after the match was reduced to 44 overs aside because of rain. Batting first, Volcanoes made 307 for 7, with Athene's top scoring with 77. The combined campuses and colleges in search of 308, they were bowled out for 213.
I think it was just about giving myself a chance. I've been rushing things a bit on my part, I think. So it was just about giving myself a chance. My mind was really clear, to be honest. Just give yourself some time, and when things get better, obviously.
Tell me about the team talk you guys had ahead of this game. We know that every single point was up for grabs, bonus as well as victory points. What was the team discussing before this game?
I think that was one of the shortest discussions we have ever had, to be honest. We have planned well, to be honest. It's really about executing. We haven't been executing as well as we would have liked. So I think it was more or less trying to get the guys' minds clear, so that they could execute.
Spare a word for Sonny Lambert, your captain. He came and made a very important innings as well. What you thought about his contribution?
I felt that it was well put together. He came in at a point where, yes, we were up, but he rotated very nicely, and he cashed in the back.
You have one more game in this Super 50. Was the mindset going into that?
I think the team, I wouldn't be there, but I think the team, from this game, getting a lot of confidence from this game, knowing that we could get to such totals and restrict teams, under the total. So, it's really about staying clear, staying committed, and just keep working.
And that's the Windward Island Volcanoes player, Alec Athenes. The Windward Island Volcanoes will next face the West Indies Academy, Sunday, the 17th of November. Finally, England fast bowler Rhys Topley returned home from the Caribbean after injuring his right knee in the first T20 international against the West Indies in Barbados. It was the latest setback in a career that has been littered with injury, and as he walked up the steps to the players' pavilion, Topley was seen picking up a chair and smashing it on the staircase handrail. The reaction earned him a fine from the ICC amounting to 15% of his match fee. In addition to this fine, one demerit point has been added to Topley's disciplinary record. When a player reaches 4 or more demerit points within a 24-month period, they are converted into suspension points, and a player is banned. However, this was Topley's first such offense within the time period. Well, that's our time on the DBS Evening News and Sports. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, we bring you another news and sports bulletin on behalf of the news and sports departments. And, of course, all of us here at DBS Radio, my good friend Joseph Fadul, who's done again a magnificent job linking the news all week. Joseph Fadul, again, we thank you for your tremendous work with the news department. Tomorrow morning we'll be back at 7 o'clock with more news. Curtis Matthew saying good night.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts. bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 15th day of November 2024. We begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. We announce the death of Anastasia Noel James, better known as Anne or Tazi, age 63, of Bellevue Chopin. She died on the 11th of November. She was the wife of Robert James. She will be remembered by her brothers, Andrew, Clement, Joseph Noel, and Sylvester John Baptist. Her sisters, Geraldine Morancy, Ruby Royer, Jennifer and Agatha Noel, and Annette Lloyd. The funeral arrangements of the late Anastasia Noel, better known as Anne or Tazi, will be given in a subsequent announcement. Management and staff of DBS Radio, the nation station, extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Anastasia Noel James, better known as Anne or Tazi, of Bellevue Chopin.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Let's now present to you this evening's edition of the general announcements on DBS Radio's Community Bulletin Board. The WASCO wishes to inform customers in the Kalinago territory that staff will be at the Sensi Resource Center from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and at the Atkinson Resource Center from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Saturday, 16th November, to facilitate bill payments and to address billing concerns. Customers are urged to customers are urged to take advantage of this opportunity. They look forward to serving you, their valued customers. Applications are invited from suitable qualified individuals to fill the position of General Manager at the Marigot Cooperative Credit Union. The responsibilities are: the General Manager is primarily responsible for the overall operational success of the credit union under the supervision of the Board of Directors. The General Manager operationalizes the vision, mission, goals, and policies of the MCCU by means of strategic leadership. In addition to other duties, the General Manager is responsible for fostering and maintaining amicable alliances with external partners and relevant authorities. Qualifications: a maximum of a master's degree in business administration or economics with 3 years experience at a managerial level, or a minimum of a bachelor's degree in banking and finance or management with 5 years relevant experience. A cover letter, detailed curriculum vitae, and relevant particulars of 2 references should be submitted on or before Friday, 29th November 2024 to the President, Board of Directors, Marigot Cooperative Credit Union, Wares Marigot, Commonwealth of Dominica. The Independent Regulatory Commission, IRC, invites the public to its hybrid public consultation on Domlec's capital investment plan and revenue requirements as part of the electricity rate review. The consultation meeting takes place on Tuesday, the 19th of November at the Prevo Cinemas Executive Meeting Room, time 3:30 to 6 p.m. You can join the Zoom platform. You can get the meeting link on the IRC's website at www.ircdominica.org and IRC's social media pages. The public is informed that blasting operations at the terminal area at the western part of Wesley will be taking place tomorrow, Saturday, the 16th of November, between 3:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Please be guided accordingly. The family of the late Gertrude Mabel Bellot wishes to thank everyone for their love and support during their time of bereavement. Thank you for your support. The family feels comforted to know that in times of need, there are special people like you. All people with confirmed bookings for the Dominica Public Service Union DPSU conference rooms are asked to contact the office immediately at telephone numbers 448-2101, 448-2102, or 612-0191. And we've come to the end of this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We presented to you the evening edition of the Deaf Announcements and the General Announcements on the Community Bulletin Board. The next edition of the Community Bulletin Board begins tomorrow in two parts, starting from 6:10 a.m. with the morning edition of your Deaf Announcements, and then we continue at approximately 7:40 a.m. with the morning edition of your General Announcements. Don't forget to hear your announcements on DBS Radio, the nation station, where everyone listens. Come into the sales and marketing team's office Mondays through Fridays between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, you can give us a call at 448-3282 or 448-3283, same times and days mentioned, except holidays. Coming up not too long from now, of course, the Crown Prince himself, Ambassador Leroy Wadix Charles. He's coming on not too long from now, so keep it locked on with us on your nation station, DBS.
Little boy, how we looking? What? One done. Little boy. How we looking then, I hope you find someone else. I hope you find someone else. To love you like I do. I hope Mr. Love you true. To love you like I do. Wow, I tell you all what I get in this mépris. We bon Dieu papa zo, we bon Dieu papa zo. Whoa, I tell you all what I get in this mépris. We bon Dieu papa zo, we bon Dieu papa zo. What? Every day is stress. Yeah, I cannot take it, baby. Next, Lord God. Wow, every day is stress. Yeah, I cannot take it, baby. Next. I hope you find someone else. Someone better than me. I hope you find someone else. To love you like I do. I hope so. friend and them not sleeping in your bed. So tell me why you have them talking in your head. Baby, your friend and them not sleeping in your bed with you. Baby, I don't do nothing on your head. I hear them going shut up all your mouth. All you can take my woman from me. Go and check your own. Hey, don't break up my home. Boom. I hope you find someone just like little boy. Oh, I hope you find someone else like my brother. Oh, to love you like I do, like my grandfather back in 1999. Oh, to love you like I do. Back when dirty life we living. Do you miss me? I'm sitting on my toilet drinking whiskey. Don't call my phone, man, I'm sorry. Leave me alone, I got no worries. Yeah, you miss me. Do you miss me? I'm sitting on my toilet drinking whiskey. Don't call my phone, man, I'm sorry. Leave me alone, I got no worries. Yeah, I changed my number twice like I am a quarterback. Deleted my Instagram, yo, that's a fact. Dirty life we living and there ain't no turning back. Live it easy while you have to break your back. Yeah. Do you miss me? I'm sitting on my toilet drinking whiskey. Don't call my phone, man, I'm sorry. Leave me alone, I got no worries. Yeah, you miss me. Do you miss me? I'm sitting on my toilet drinking whiskey. Don't call my phone, man, I'm sorry. Leave me alone.